this way with me. But when I turn this way, you turn toward me as opposed to turning toward the back. This is an overhand weave that we're doing. And then on your right side, my left, what I want you to do is turn and come into the spiral facing me, and then come out in the lockout. When you turn and spiral, it changes direction, so it would put you in underhand if you turned back the same way. Overhand weave, turn, spiral. Pretty good, pretty good. Okay, and then turn, yes, and then turn the other way, and then back into overhand weave this way, and then, yes, exactly. So I wanted to go side to side like you're doing right now. Overhand weave, turn, you turn right to spiral, then you turn right again to overhand weave, then you turn left to spiral, and then you turn left to overhand weave, and then turn right to spiral, and then turn right to overhand weave, and then turn left to spiral, and then turn left to overhand. Let's do the same thing with the Airwrap. So starting again in the overhand weave, let's turn to your right and come into the Airwrap, and then turn to underhand weave, and then turn back to the Airwrap, and then turn to overhand weave, back to Airwrap, to underhand weave, back to Airwrap, to overhand weave, back to Airwrap, to underhand weave, back to Airwrap, to overhand weave. Starting here in underhand weave, let's turn into the spiral, and then turn right again into the underhand weave. And then from this underhand weave, you're going to turn to your left into the spiral, and then turn left again, back to underhand weave. Underhand, then you turn to your left, spiral, and then turn to your left again. Underhand weave, and now we're going to turn to your right, spiral. Starting in underhand here, let's do the your right turn, come into an Airwrap, and then turn right again into overhand weave. Okay, turn right into your Airwrap, and then right again to overhand, and then left into your Airwrap, and left again to overhand, underhand. Yeah, clearly coming from your overhand is better than coming from your underhand, which I can appreciate. Something's got to be weaker, so it's rare it's all evenly balanced. This is a little hint for you. Okay, let's say I'm here in overhand, and then I am going to turn, so you're mirroring me, which means you would turn to your left, coming into the Airwrap. Now, when you come into the Airwrap, what I'm doing with it is I do the Airwrap, and then I take the hand that's for the farthest away from where I'm turning, and I immediately cross it underneath, just like I would in a weave turnaround. What I'm noticing you're doing is tangling and then opening the hands and then going into the weave. And then I notice the same thing coming from the underhand weave. When you're turning to your right, you go in fine, but then when you're exiting, you're going into the circles first. You're only doing it for one count, but you can make it a little bit tighter. Same thing from the overhand, right after the Airwrap, if you cross the backhand over the top. What might be useful is to think about it like a weave lockout. It follows the same rules as the weave lockout. So when you're doing your lockout, it's the backhand that either crosses under for underhand, or the backhand that crosses over for overhand. And then it's the same thing coming out of your Airwrap. I talked about the backhand, but I didn't talk about the front hand. When you are in your Airwrap, so let's say I'm turning this way into overhand, when I'm in the Airwrap, this hand has to stay there while the other one comes underneath. It's not just the hand coming underneath, it's the other hand staying there so that it can come underneath, right? That's the two halves of it. As you are looking at me, your left hand has to stay where it is when you're turning back to the left. Right? Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. Your clockwise, I guess. So from your clockwise, you're going to turn to your left. Going this way, you'll end up in underhand. What I want you to do is one air wrap, just so we can go through it slowly. One air wrap like that, and then wait here in your lockout, and then keep your left hand here and cross your right hand underneath. So you keep your left hand here, and your right hand goes under. Air wrap, keep your left hand, cross your right hand. Air wrap, keep your left hand, cross your right hand. Back to air wrap, keep your left hand, cross your right hand. Back to air wrap, keep your left hand cross. Yeah, if you're struggling with the air wrap, let's just take that out. You're in the weave, cross back, go into the lockout. Yes, and keep the left, cross underneath. Lockout, keep the left, cross underneath. Lockout, keep the left, cross underneath. Lockout, keep the left hand there, cross underneath. Let's do it with the air wrap, then come underneath, back into the weave. Air wrap, then come underneath, back into the weave. Air wrap, then the right hand comes, oops, I didn't do the other wrap, sorry. Air wrap right underneath. And air wrap right underneath. Air wrap, right goes under left. Air wrap, right goes under left, turn to underhand. Now, let's start in overhand here. And then now you do the same thing that I do. So I'm going to turn to the right, and you're going to turn to the right. So we're in an overhand weave, left foot forward. I want you to turn to your right, and then you're going to come into a counterclockwise air wrap, and then turn to your right again and come into underhand weave. And then now you're going to turn away from me and air wrap on the other side, back to overhand. Let's do that again. Left foot is forward, turn right, counterclockwise air wrap, turn right, underhand weave, step the left foot forward, turn right, clockwise air wrap, turn right, back to overhand weave.